classics.
Well, good morning, friends. Welcome to Sycamore Church. My name is Jeremy. I'm thrilled that you're all with us this morning. Hey, if you're seeing this live feed show up on your phone or your computer, hit share right now.
Absolutely.
Hit share. Let people know that. Hit like. Let people know that you are worshiping this morning here at Sycamore Creek Church from the comfort of your home. We are thrilled that you're here today as we continue this series called Chasing Carrots. It's the endless pursuit of more. Like
Jeremy, you got some more years on you this weekend, right?
Yeah, Tom is referencing.
You turned 40.
I just turned 40. That's a lot of years.
Hey, you went camping. It didn't even rain on you.
I did. I did go camping. It didn't rain.
So what are we chasing this morning?
You know, we're chasing this endless pursuit of fame, which makes me think of like, hey, if I was famous, would that really satisfy? And so you think of like actresses, actors, musicians, whatever, movie actors.
We had an amazing actress here, Isa Rodriguez. Do you remember her?
That's
back
right.
in January?
Yeah, oh yeah, the letting of.
Oh my gosh, we've been trying to get her back to sing.
She sang at the very end of that production. And
she did, yeah.
Dropped the mic.
So we did get her back, and she's actually going to sing. She's going to introduce this whole idea of fame with a Lady Gaga song.
Right.
Applause. What's your favorite Lady Gaga song?
Phew. I'm gonna have to go Million Reasons.
Mine's Poker Face.
Did they do those both at the Super Bowl a couple years ago?
I don't know. But we want to know what your favorite Lady Gaga song is. And while you're watching Isa drop it with this cover of Applause.
Let's
Here we
do
go.
it.
Let's see it.
Make it real.
Wow.
Did you hear that voice?
Give it up for Isa, friends.
Isa. I hope she's watching right now.
I hope she's watching too.
Yeah.
Or any of Isa's friends. Thank you so much for lending us your voice this morning. We're talking about fame. Peace, friends. My name is Pastor Tom. This is Jeremy, our worship arts guy. If you're just tuning in, today we are looking at Chasing Fame. That was Lady Gaga's song, Applause. What's your favorite Lady Gaga song?
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments section. All right. Jeremy, what's next?
So, you guys, we're going to talk about, well, really, when we're chasing more, it's like counterfeit goods. And we're going to watch
things that don't really deliver what they sell.
They absolutely don't deliver what they sell. And we've done a blind taste test. We've asked a few families here at Sycamore Creek to put themselves or their children to get into this challenge, okay? Last week, my kids couldn't. Well, actually, they could determine.
They nailed it. 100%.
They nailed it. They could tell the difference between an Oreo cookie and then the off-brand.
Yeah.
Now, today, we're highlighting the Arthur family, and they're going to see if they can really tell the difference between some candy. Let's see what happens.
All right, here we go.
All right, we're here to do a what is this called? A blind taste test. We're seeing if Mike and Tabitha can figure out which one is the real M&Ms and which one are the fake M&Ms. All right, which one's counterfeit? Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to mix these up so that you don't know which one was which. All right, you have two bowls in front of you. You put a hand in each bowl so you get it figured out. Keep them straight.
Real fake. Maybe. Let's taste that.
Just by feel. See how...
Wow, I can't tell, really. And maybe that's the fake one, I think, but it's real close.
Which one's fake? You think that one's fake?
I think it tastes like an M&M.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah, I think that was a fake one and that was a real one.
All right.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely real and this is definitely fake.
Okay.
Try one of yours.
No. Pull the one that's real towards you and push the one that's fake away from you. All right, take your blindfolds off and see if you got it.
I messed up.
I got it. Yes. The fake ones taste more milkier.
Tabitha,
Yeah,
you were out tasted by a 9-year-old.
I'm not surprised. He's so picky.
It seems like kids have more sensitive taste buds to really know what's real and what's fake. We're talking about what's real and what's fake, what we're chasing that's real, what we're chasing that's fake. Jeremy, is there anything that you ever know, like it's definitely real or definitely fake?
You know, this is going to sound so weird, but it's the season of sweet corn. I can tell, like, I grew up on this family farm, and our neighbors had the best sweet corn. If I try sweet corn that's not theirs, I can immediately tell the difference.
All right, so hey, friends, if you're just tuning in, I'm Pastor Tom here at Sycamore Creek. We are so glad you are with us this morning. We would love to connect with you. You can connect with us in a bunch of different ways, but we especially would love for you to connect through sycamorecreekchurch.org/connect. That's our digital connection card. We will put that in the comments section, but you also find it in the description of the video here, the live video. If you're a first-time guest this morning, or if you've never filled out that digital connection card, we'd love to honor you with a free book. This is the book. It's called You'll Get Through This, and it's by Max Lucado. Man, we got some awesome wind coming through here, the cafe this morning. Max Lucado, You'll Get Through This. We would love to. We'll send it directly from Amazon to your home. You just need to fill out that connection card at sycamorecreekchurch.org/connect. We'd love to hear a little more about you and see where you're at right now. Give us a Couch Church selfie. Use that hashtag Couch Church. We just love to see where people are watching us in the morning. We'd also love to connect with you in some other ways. Comment in the live feed. Also share it. That's just a really simple way to get the word up about Sycamore Creek. We'd also love for you to download our app. You'll find all kinds of goodies on the app. Now, this morning, like I said, we're looking and exploring chasing fame. That's the message for today, and it begins with this.
Where your head at? Dang, don't wanna talk business. I guess I gotta be the one to see the summer. Who really in this? We so fed up. My life 10 up. Your time been up. Big prayers send up. Couldn't do without them. Glad that I found
Good morning, friends. I am so excited to be back here, to physically be back in our space at Sycamore Creek Church. And I'm really excited to be delivering the message today from the series on chasing carrots. As we've kind of moved through this series, we've talked a little bit about some various carrots that can slowly eat away at our focus on faith. And it's been interesting for me to hear how these ideas that are kind of universal, like they feel inextricably linked to my life. The messages are really, truly universal.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Sarah Ashman, and I'm delivering the message today. There's some kinks to work out with going live on camera, right?
Yeah.
I'm loving it, though. So, Tom, I remember when you sent out this email to us who we were scheduled to preach in this service, and he kind of gave us a list of all the potential topics and said, choose your top 3 that you feel like you might be called to deliver the message on. And I did as I was told. I put, my top 3. But there really was one topic that I just felt like I was born to deliver the message on this topic. And that topic, of course, is fame. So
you
fame.
were born to deliver a message on fame.
I was born for the applause of the message of fame.
All right.
Yes. So fame. I feel like I got to get back into teacher mode here. Fame, I think it's helpful to have the definition of that up. Fame is defined by Merriam-Webster as the fact or condition of being known or recognized by many people. And I think it's important to actually look at that and to see that fame really implies recognition. It implies people knowing who you are, but it doesn't necessarily imply having a particular skill or talent. I think we can think of it that way sometimes, as though that's part of the definition, and it really isn't. But, for the most part, I think we can say people who achieve fame tend to have some skill or talent that earns them that recognition. We think about the people whose faces we see on the on the tabloid covers, on the checkout lines at Meijer, or the people whose faces we see gracing the red carpets at the Oscars, or like the people who are playing our favorite sporting event games. Those are people who've done a thing or two to earn their fame, to earn their recognition. So in many cases, certainly, yes, fame is recognition that's earned for a certain reason. And you can do a lot of things well, and people will start to recognize you for it, and you get famous. Like, that's kind of the formula for fame, right? It's a pretty simple equation, really. Or is it? Consider this question when it comes to the idea of being recognized. What do we do for recognition versus what do we do for genuine purpose? What do we do for recognition versus what do we do for genuine purpose? This is kind of a question, and this equation is something that I really dreamed of working myself into for a good chunk of my earlier life. See, when I was younger, I really wanted to be a singer. What kind of singer, how, what genre I was in, whatever, all of those things. That context kind of changed regularly. It depended on, who was popular at the time, who I was listening to. I was kind of modeling my singing after. But it didn't really much matter because I wanted to grace a stage. I had this idea of gracing a stage, my body flooded in spotlight. Oh, God, there I am. A microphone in my hand, performing my heart out to the sound of thundering applause, applause. And it sounds like pretty dramatic. Like, that's like, who really, you wanted that? Like, you really had to know me in high school and college. Like, that tracks.
We're applauding you right now.
Yes, this is what I wanted on a much grander scale. And to me, the idea of being a singer and the idea of being famous, those two ideas were inextricably linked. Like, I couldn't be a singer without being famous, and I couldn't be famous without being a singer. Okay, like, maybe I didn't really want to just be a singer. What I really wanted was to be the second coming of Britney Spears. So you have to understand, I was in high school from 1996 to 2000. This was like at the time when Britney rose to her worldwide fame for the first time. We saw her on the cover of all the magazines, Rolling Stone. We saw her music videos. And as many teenage girls at that time likely thought, I wanted to be Britney Spears. I wanted her body. I wanted her talent. I wanted her fame.
Midriff-bearing T-shirts?
I would have been okay with that, Tom. Yeah, I would have been okay with midriff-bearing T-shirts. 38-year-old me, maybe not so much. So, interestingly, though, what she released this album in the year that I graduated high school in 2000, and she put this track on there that actually had to do with this idea of fame and how hollow it was and how the life of a Hollywood starlet, a famous person, really, like, there was an emptiness to it. And the irony of how much I adored this song and I wanted even more to be like Britney, even though she had this song about how her life was not all it's cracked up to be, that irony was totally lost on me. It's not lost on me now, and hopefully it won't be lost on you either. Take a listen to this song. If there's nothing missing in my life, then why do these tears come at night? If that's not a cry for help to get out of the grasp of fame and to seek something more, I don't know what is.
It's like one of those songs that's really an autobiography.
Yeah, it really was.
Right.
And we, you know, if you followed Britney Spears' life after this point, you kind of know that this, you know, there was a downward spiral that I can't help but think was probably linked to that fame she had.
Shaved her head.
Yeah, shaved her head in like a gas station parking lot. There was an umbrella involved. It was a really sad thing. So anyway, yeah, Britney Spears was, in the year 2000, arguably one of the most famous human beings on this planet. And she's singing a song about the hollowness of fame. If there's nothing missing in my life, why do these tears come at night? And she got it. Like, she understood this concept that fame is just not all it's cracked up to be. It's a carrot. I didn't get it, of course. I still wanted to be her and have that life. But perhaps I should have taken that as a warning that fame as a concept, fame as a carrot, is not all that it's cracked up to be. Oh my God, just like I'm looking at that photo, I feel like I probably had that photo up in my locker in high school. Like, it just looks so familiar. She was my idol in high school. I feel like this is a great time to take another pause for some chatter and think about who we wanted to be like, or who we idolized in high school, or just when we were younger in general. Jeremy, who did you idolize?
Well, this is going to sound strange, but when I was real young, I idolized George Strait. He's a country artist, and but he was simultaneously a rodeo star, so that's what I really idolized.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you and I were very different people in high school. Okay. That's what I'm getting there. Like, we're friends now. I don't know. I might have looked at you funny in high school.
Friends, go ahead and chime in right now. Take some time, and in the comments section on YouTube or Facebook, let us know who you wanted to be or idolize. Tom, how about you?
I was thinking about, for me, it was, I don't know, there was one person, but I wanted to be on the Cubs in Wrigley Field playing, like, you know, with underneath all the lights, hitting it over the outfield fence. I mean, that was spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the Cubs?
For the Cubs.
Why the Cubs?
Well, I grew up in Indianapolis. Indianapolis doesn't have a major league team, so you're either going Cubs in Chicago or St. Louis
or the White Sox.
Cincinnati,
no White Sox.
Yeah, White Sox or Tigers. I mean, those were the closest. But what are people saying on Facebook, Gretchen?
Okay, right now I've got several comments. Teresa said Sandy Patty. You have to really be like classic Christian artist to know who that is. Sarah Arthur said Amy Grant. And then I need your help on this one, Sarah. Jim is saying Steve Eiserman. Thank you.
He's gonna be like, I'm so proud of her.
Steve is your husband.
No, Jim is her husband.
Steve were my husband. No, I'm just kidding.
Steve
Love you, babe.
Eiserman is
Jim is my husband. Steve Eiserman was a Detroit Red Wing.
That's correct.
All right,
ding, ding.
Cool, Jim. I like that. I'm saying like the classic Christian like solo artists when I was growing up was like Rebecca St. James and Jennifer Knapp. I wanted to be like them.
Okay. So the point here is that we all have somebody that we idolize. We all had somebody we wanted to be. And there probably was this connection to like wanting to have some of that recognition, wanting to have some of that fame that these people had. Which I feel like to me just brings me back to that question. What are we really doing for recognition versus what are we doing for genuine purpose? Okay. So getting back to Britney Spears, you know, as the years ticked by, you know, we move on from 2000, we kind of saw this radical shift, you know, from the world of MTV and like music videos and things to Instagram and this concept of going viral. And we just saw this radical cultural shift in the prerequisites for fame, like what it was that we had to do or to achieve to get famous. I mean, sure, Britney was famous. She still is famous. But, I mean, have you seen her dance? Like, she at least earned that fame. I think we can argue whether or not her music is something that we enjoy and appreciate. You know, she's somebody who earned that recognition, for sure, for her fame. But there are other people who maybe we question a little bit, like this guy here. Does anybody remember who this guy is? Do we know who he is? Jeremy, does he look familiar?
I have to look at his name tag.
Okay. So this is Alex from Target.
That's right.
Alex from Target. So do we know why he's famous?
Because he can bag groceries really quickly.
Ding, ding, ding. because he worked at Target and like, look at his hair. He had like the Justin Bieber haircut.
Yeah.
Apparently he was really cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
He's
I think I was a little old. Yeah, he's a good looking dude. So just, he's like bagging, you know, stuff at Target one day, and some really swoony customer sees him and thinks he's cute and posts a picture of him. And that photo goes viral. Like, this guy just working his job at Target, he goes viral. He actually ends up on the Ellen show as like, you know, she loves to have the viral sensations end up on her show. Like, here's just this dude in his little Target shirt and his Target, you know, name tag. He's not famous for anything except working at Target and looking like Justin Bieber. And so, you know, he had this like 15 minutes of fame. And then he ended up doing what a lot of people who end up needlessly famous eventually do, which is he just totally disappeared from the public eye completely. Oh, Alex, we never even knew your last name. He's just Alex from Target forever.
I never even heard of the guy until this message.
Well, there you go. I mean, he was this moment in pop culture history, I guess, and if he had to time it perfectly. And if you are scratching your head like Tom and going, Alex from Target? Like, I must have missed that one. Then consider the rise of this other family. Okay, I feel like everybody knows who these people are. The Kardashians. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could not have delivered a sermon chock full of pop culture icons and fame without mentioning the Kardashians. Like, I couldn't have done it. They are a walking, talking, selfie-taking, Instagram follower baiting masterclass on how to get famous. And unlike Alex from Target, how to actually stay famous. Could there be a more recognizable American family? And could there be a family who's garnered more heated discussion on the very question that this message rests on?
They're famous for being famous.
Exactly. They're famous for being famous. What do we do for recognition versus what do we do for genuine purpose? I'm asking you, Kim Kardashian. Love to hear her answer on that. You know, I could stand here and I could prattle on for another hour or so on this complicated topic of fame. It's not just a feeling that I've wanted to experience. It's a topic that I'm really genuinely interested in. I'm wholly interested in this. But like fame for nothing, like fame for no good reason, this message would be hollow if not connected back to the concept of faith. What does fame do to faith? What does fame do to faith? Why is fame a carrot that we need to stop chasing? Well, it all comes down to calling. And we must remember, we are not called to be famous. We are called to be faithful. Mm-hmm. We are not called to be famous. We are called to be faithful. Like each of the other carrots that takes us away from our focus on God, fame is really not much more than a distraction. And while it may provide temporary comfort and some fleeting sense of validation of purpose, it's ultimately empty, and it can get in the way of us following the path that Christ has laid out for each of us. We are not called to be famous. We are called to be faithful. So let's break this down for a moment. Some of us, like high school age me, we saw fame as a calling. I really did. I know I'm not alone. It was ultimately the state of being that I aspired to. I thought it would make me feel alive. I thought it would make me feel whole and valid. People knowing who I was and wanting my autograph and snapping photos of me and me being on a stage in a floodlight, like that sounded validating. Like exactly the kind of thing that makes you want to get up in the morning. And I really did feel called to a life like that, and that calling was buoyed by my own parents and my friends and people who saw me perform. People telling me that I was born to be famous for my singing. Like there even was this most likely to be famous superlative in, you know, for the high school yearbook, and I wanted that so bad. I wanted to, like, how meta is that? I so wanted the label of most likely to be famous. That's how much I wanted to be famous, right? So, like, it was my destiny. Like, it was my calling. Like, it was a calling. But from whom? Whose call was I really listening for if all I wanted was to be famous? Certainly not a calling from God. Nothing about this so-called feeling was rooted in faith, in purpose, in serving others. I just wanted the recognition. I just wanted the applause, to feel alive and to feel like my life mattered. Oh, if someone had told me sooner that my life had mattered so much already just by virtue of being born a child of God, how my discernment of my true calling might have shifted a lot sooner. Because God does call us to our greater purposes. And these purposes are where we really find that true purposeful aliveness, that true wholeness. And when we seek glory in the recognition of others, we miss that. And we find a short-lived, fleeting, hollow feeling instead. Our need to look only toward God to find the truest love we could ever imagine is touched on in Psalm 115. Not to us, Lord, not to us, but to your name be the glory because of your love and faithfulness. When you're famous, the people who share your photos, when they don't love you. The people who want to be your fans, who click share, who help you come viral, they don't stay faithful to you. I mean, heck, look at Alex from Target. What is he doing now? Where is he? There is no love and faithfulness in fame. For that, we need to look to God. And consider how this affects the work that we do on God's behalf, the callings he lays out for each of us to love and to serve. I've thought about this most recently in relation to the rise in social justice work surrounding anti-racism that, we've seen as a nation we've become engaged in pretty heavily since early June. And while hundreds of thousands of folks have put their heart's energy into doing the necessary, the Christ-like work of dismantling white supremacy and fighting for a more just world for people of color, the recognition that can come with doing that kind of important work has tempted some folks into a nasty little side effect of activism that's known by some as something called performative wokeness. Have you heard of this, Jeremy?
No.
Performative wokeness?
Tell me.
So what performative wokeness means, basically, you got to put these two terms together. Performative means that we're doing something for show, like we're doing it for a performance aspect. It's about the aesthetics. It's not about any real intent. And for those not familiar with the popular millennial term woke, it's basically someone who is aware of injustice and talks about it and kind of makes it a focus. So you put those together, and a performatively woke person is someone who's aware of injustice, but whose actions in light of it are just for show, just for aesthetics. Actually, the writer and activist Eric Peterson is somebody that I follow on Medium, which is an online publication. He wrote on this topic for a piece in Medium, and this is what he said. I thought it was great. To my mind, the performatively woke person is someone whose desire to be seen on the right side of an issue can get in the way of an ally's true job. The performatively woke person posts on social media about how annoying white people are, conveniently ignoring their own whiteness. The performatively white person mansplains feminism to women. The performatively woke person makes a lot of noise and accomplishes very little.
Okay.
They make a lot of noise and they accomplish very little. Sounds an awful lot like doing something for recognition, not for purpose, doesn't it? That's really what being performatively woke is. Actually, a couple months back, there was a fashion model by the name of Chris Schatzel, I think her name was, who, as millions of people around the world were doing at the time, she attended a Black Lives Matter protest. And she also did something, again, that millions of protesters did. She had her photograph taken while she was holding a sign. And in this moment, it just looks like she's one of all of these people on the street who's kind of, she's doing the right thing. She's using her voice to fight injustice. Maybe. She actually later came under fire in the media when this next photo was released, the one specifically here on the left. Something about seeing her with, she's this model, she has a really significant Instagram following. She stepped out away from this crowd of protesters to pose for what appeared to be some sort of professional photograph here. She kind of slips her top down a little bit, it just looks a little performative, I don't know, to me. And it just really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I guess that's understandable. See, she took an important moment for the value of Black lives, and in the eyes of these people who are kind of bothered by this, she turned it into a self-serving photo shoot for her social media accounts. Would she still be around to do the work when there wasn't a photographer wielding a fancy camera? We don't know. A lot of people put in a small amount of effort, only when visible to others. Remember, this photo is intended to go on her social media. And that's an essential component of performative wokeness. She was in an important place, appearing to do some important work, but in the end, was it just a photo op? We don't know. Was it performative? Was it God's work? Was she living a calling? Is she in it for the long haul? Or is it just a photo shoot? Is it just for the applause of 1 million likes on her Instagram photo? It's hard to tell, right? The seeking of fame, as it tends to, it kind of obscures the meaning here. I can't help but think that seeing these photos side by side. So if we're not going to seek fame, what can we seek instead? Where should we lend our hearts? What actually is the opposite of fame? Is it anonymity? Possibly. But the Bible might actually suggest the opposite of being recognized isn't being not recognized. It's actually being humble. I actually really like how this idea is framed in this verse, specifically from the King James Version of the Bible. I really like this. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Wow. Interesting. Is fame a devilish lion? Is he looking to devour us? I don't know. We haven't heard from Alex from Target in a while, so that's possible. It does make us want to be big, though. It does make us seek glory in others, in strangers, in applause and in validation from people and external places and not from God. If the carrot is the spotlight, be it a literal spotlight, be it the feeling of hitting 10,000 Instagram followers, or even just throwing up a socially minded Facebook status to look like a good person, we need to walk away. We need to put our search for aliveness and meaning in God, and the only place that we will truly find our calling. So what do we do next? Well, fame cannot be achieved without focus. Ask Britney Spears, ask the Kardashians. And if we find ourselves focusing on that hollow, purposeful recognition, consider what we can focus on instead. And I think about these three things. We can focus on work, we can focus on people, and we can focus on faith. When we focus on work, we have to ask ourselves, what am I doing with my time and my energy? Does it matter what it looks like? Does it matter to you if anyone even sees what you're doing at all? Consider the purpose in your life's work and look to God for how his calling is working into that, regardless of the recognition it garners you from those around you, because that's not important. Focus on people really is all about asking yourself, who am I serving? Who are the actual people that your purpose is aiding? Whose lives are made better by the work that you're doing? Fame really actually, even though it feels like it's about other people, it's not about other people at all. It's about being seen. So ask yourself, do you really see the people who need your service? How do you meet their needs? And do you do it when no one is looking? And finally, and probably most importantly, focus on faith. Focus on faith. Truly, if we're to do anything to stay the course and focus on what truly matters, it's this. God is the only one we truly need to see us, to recognize us, the one who calls us to our purpose and brings us to life. No fame, whether it's 10 seconds or 10 years or 10 lifetimes, will ever substitute for the fact that God is the only one to love us and to know us unconditionally. You know, like Brittany sang about, fame will always leave you with something missing, with wanting more. If there's nothing missing in my life, why do these tears come at night? Fame will never deliver on its promise of love and recognition, and chasing it will only leave us feeling hollow because it gets in the way of our faith. And this passage from Proverbs that I love, it warns of this. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Bind your love and faithfulness around your neck. Like, think about that. Don't ever take it off. Don't forsake it for fame, for attention, for applause, for anything. Never forget that God is faithful in us as we are in him. And if we recognize that, then no other recognition could matter. Now, none of this is to say that getting recognition for using your gifts in some kind of a generous way is a bad thing. I never did become a famous singer, obviously. I'm not some famous person that you just missed seeing on the cover of Us magazine in the checkout line. But while I never did become a famous singer, I do enjoy being part of the worship arts team here at Sycamore Creek and joining my voice and talents with other musicians in praise of God. I really enjoy being part of that team, and truly, it feels even better to be sharing a passion in a way that doesn't obscure my faith, but actually enhances it. Not for recognition, but for genuine purpose. So I'm asking you to think and reflect with me. How do you plan to give up chasing the fame carrot and chase God's calling instead? Love to hear responses in the comments or possibly even through private message. How do you plan to give up chasing the fame carrot and chase God's calling instead?
That's a tough question. It's worth really deeply reflecting on.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, when I think about myself, I think about sort of a component of fame is success as a pastor. Mm-hmm. You're up in front of a lot of people. I mean, right now we're potentially up in front of a lot of people on streaming.
Yeah.
And kind of, I mean, it's really easy to look at the Kardashians and say, no, that's not me. I'm not going to be famous in that way. But there are ways that it seeps into me. I don't know. How about you, Jeremy?
Well, like one way to give up chasing that fame carrot is continually being a part of a faith community that serves other people. Like we do a gas buy down thing every year where we give away and you're out there in the middle of the wintertime giving $5 of free gas away, or even being a part of the worship team like Sarah. It's getting up early but making myself available to not shine the light on me, but to really reflect that light onto God.
Yeah. And even that stuff that's good can end up with these negative motivations. I think back to when I was in seminary, and Sarah and I and my family, we were living in this new monastic house with a bunch of other Christians, with homeless people in the house, and we ended up kind of a little bit famous inside the seminary for this living situation.
Yeah.
I found like my pride getting puffed up, like, I live different than everybody else. And that's, I mean, again, it's easy to blow off, like say, I'm not like the Kardashians, but then that desire to be known,
yes,
instead of for the purpose that Sarah was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, friends, if you are just tuning in, you're at the tail end of our message where we're looking at chasing carrots, particularly fame today. And we would love to connect with you. You can connect with us through the digital connection card, sycamorecreekchurch.org/connect. And that you'll find that in the comment section, but also in the description of the video. If you fill that out and you're the first-time guest this morning, we really would love to honor you. And so we want to send you a book, You'll Get Through This, by Max Lucado. This is a great book for this time of a pandemic that we find ourselves in. And so fill out that digital connection card. Can we get that up on the screen there, Carol, the digital connection card? Fill that digital connection card out, and we will just mail this to you actually straight from Amazon later on, actually really tomorrow morning. So fill that out. We would love to connect with you. We are just so grateful for the giving of our church. You continue to give graciously and generously through sycamorecreekchurch.org/give or through the app. And your giving helps all kinds of things happen. In fact, yesterday we participated in Pray on MLK. It was a prayer and protest movement on MLK. Yesterday was the day that the first street in a major city in the United States was named after Martin Luther King. And so people from our church and from all over the city of Lansing gathered out front of Kingdom Life Ministries. Several of our own folks, there's Chad and Matt and Sawyer, their baby. And we wrote words across our face masks, just one word of prayer or protest. And we stood there in kind of silent prayer. And then we gathered with other churches in the second hour to just praise and worship God in that kind of unique way of praying and protesting that only the church does. We also were able to provide the sound system for that event. Big thank you to Jeremy Whitlam. He's in the back there. Can we get the flyover studio? Jeremy is on sound today as well. He's our sound master this morning. Thank you, Jeremy. And thank you all for your generous giving that helps us take our portable sound system to support events like that. Hey, Jeremy, you got something for us this morning. You're going to wrap up this whole fame thing
other
for
Jeremy,
us?
Right?
Yeah, well,
we got two Jeremys on set today. Hey, I was really moved by the message that Sarah gave this morning. And whenever I read Psalm 115, not to us, but to your name be the glory, that just really helps in a godly way put you right where you belong. To recognize that your life can shine to point others to Jesus. And so we're going to sing that truth to song. It's a song that I think was written, it was written in 2001, so it's getting some mileage. It's getting a little bit older, but it's nonetheless a song that's worth
about where the fame really needs to be.
Where the fame really needs to be. So, friends, I would invite you not just to watch me lead us in this song, but that we would worship to this song as we close out today's worship service. So the lyrics will be on the screen, no problem, and feel free to sing along with me. We know you do it in the shower. You sing by yourself in the shower. You might as well pull others in your family and sing along with this truth. Let's do it. Cross before me, the world behind. No turning back, raise a banner high. It's not for me, it's all for you. Let the heavens shake and split the sky. Let the people clap their hands and cry. It's not for us, it's all for you. Not to us, but to your name be the glory. Not to us, but to your name be the glory. Our hearts unfold before your throne, the only place for those who know it's not for us, it's all for you. Send your holy fire on this offering. Let our wood burn for the world to see. It's not for us, it's all for you. Let's sing, not to us, not to us, but to your name be the glory. Not to us, but to your name be the glory. The earth is shaking, the mountains shouting, it's all to you. The waves are crashing, the sun is raging, it's all for you. The universe is spinning and singing, it's all for you. Your children dancing, 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 it's all for you, it's all for you. Oh, let's sing all glory. And all glory and honor and praise. 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 Sing that again. All glory and honor and praise. 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 Sing, not to us, not to us, but to your name be the glory. sing that one more time. Not to us, but to your name be the glory. Not to us, but to your name. And all who agreed said, Amen.
Amen. Amen. Hey, I think we got one last chatterbox here, right?
Yeah, one last chatterbox, friends. So what's one of your favorite one-hit wonders? We talked about Alex earlier.
I never even heard of him.
Alec or Alex?
Alex.
And you know,
Alex.
I always hear one-hit wonders like old 80s songs, like where 80s bands have one song. What's yours?
Yeah. You know, I don't know. Like, the one that came out to me was actually just happened recently. It was that Russian Orthodox priest who was doing the live streaming on Facebook for the first time, and he'd never used it before, and somehow he turned the googly eyes on. The
filter?
The filter. So every time he got close to the camera, like, you know, he's in his full Russian Orthodox garb, vestments, and his eyes would pop like googly eyes.
Wow.
It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, he just sort of came up, and now who knows where he's at now.
Yeah, there's like, by the day, there's new people that are just there for one-hit wonders, for sure.
Yeah. So, Carola, you got a favorite one-hit wonder?
I'm a big fan of Chocolate Rain. As my friends say, I'm from the internet. Over there. Hi. But there's this. You should check it out. It's actually a pretty good song.
Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate Rain. It's kind of old as far as one-hit wonders go, but it's pretty good. You should check it out.
Yeah, Gretchen, you got a favorite one-hit wonder?
I don't know if it's my favorite, but one that comes to mind for me is the Macarena.
The Macarena.
I'm pretty sure that was that band's only like famous song.
That was like Here and Gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flash in the pan.
There we go.
Yeah, you know, I think of, you guys go ahead and put in the comments, what is your favorite one-hit wonder? Someone please put Baja Men Who Let the Dogs Out. That's like, come on. They only have one song.
Charlie Bit My Finger.
Yep, yes. Charlie Bit My Finger.
Charlie Bit My Finger.
The
there
Kid
we go.
After the Dentist. You know the one?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
David After Dentist.
David After the
David
Dentist.
After Dentist.
Is this real life?
There we go. There we go. All right. Well, hey, we'd love to hear what your wonder is from YouTube or whatever social media it is. And hey, friends, if you want to talk to me privately in a private message about which do you need to focus on, work, people, or faith, I'd love to hear from you. But otherwise, we will be back next Sunday at 9:30 on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then. Peace out.
Classics represent